Africa eats. Going back to what I started with today, the question was, which of these companies or companies like them are going to be the big established giant companies in 100 years? And we don't know, right? But again, that's the goal. The goal is not to flip these companies, it's to have real impact in at least a whole country, if not a whole region, if not a whole continent. So let's jump over to Africa, right? You saw 4 companies from Africa present today, 3 of them in agriculture. Well, it turns out that Fledge has done a lot of work in Africa in agriculture. We have 20 graduates who all work with smallholder farmers. They're in 9, 10 different countries. It's on the map up there. What they have in common is that, like Chicken Basket or Ore Eggs, they don't just help themselves. They're not just trying to be the next Tyson chicken. They're trying to actually improve incomes for the whole community so that more people can afford everything, not just to eat. All right, so the plan is to take those companies, wrap them in a holding company, add 10 million in growth capital, and make them much bigger. So 10 million to start with. These companies collectively in 2018 did over $3 million in revenue. Worked with something like 30,000 farmers collectively. Collectively, they're something of substance. They're big, right? They're worthy of attention of institutions. Individually, they're still small. But what we think is, given 10 million in capital and a few years of growth, we'll be big enough to go public with this entity. And then we'll take that money and we'll get them bigger and bigger and bigger and add more companies in and so forth, until within 5 or 10 years we have something that not only has a big impact across the continent, feeding 1 billion people, but also is then an investment that any of you can make because it's a public company. And you can then invest in the growth of Africa, which is something we didn't have when China pulled 500 million people out of poverty. There was no company you could really invest in that had that reach. Same thing in India. There's 450 million middle class in India now, but none of us have anything in our stock portfolio that's helping grow that growth. And so the goal here is to do this in Africa, where we can take our capital. We have all the capital. They have all the poor people. We need to bring the capital to the poor people. That's how you fix this problem. And so that's the goal. That's what Africa Eats is about.